So Wayne Button, our book reviewer, is here to give us a review on what he's reading. It's Jonathon Livingston's Seagull. Remember that book from the 1970s? He picked it up to read because Kobe Bryant said it was one of his favorite books. He's here to tell us all about it. Good morning, Wayne.
Good morning, Janice. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. Now, I've heard of the book, but what exactly is the storyline?
So basically what it's about is a seagull who lives amongst a flock of other seagulls, mostly by the ocean and on the beach. But those seagulls pretty much, live just to survive. They don't fly very much. They only try to eat and scavenge for food. And Jonathon Livingston is a seagull that wants to be more than that. He really wants to strive for perfection with his flying. So he practices flying as fast as he can and diving and barreling and sparring and just getting better at it. Eventually, the other seagulls find out what he's up to, and he gets banned from the flock. And then from there, he travels almost kind of like a spiritual journey where he learns to master the art of flying, eventually learns to even teach other people, and eventually returns to the flock to teach them about, his journey in flying as well.
Now, Wayne, it's a smaller book. It's only 90 pages. Is it appropriate for young people and teens?
Well, that's the thing. It's been debated on whether or not it's meant for adults or children. I think originally it was really meant for adults because it was originally published as short stories in a flying magazine. But some people do believe it's appropriate for children. And, I don't have kids. The whole time I'm reading it, I'm thinking, is this something I could read to a child? And I think depending on the maturity level of the child and depending on what the parent would like to discuss with the child, I think you could read it to a kid. Because it does touch on some things that maybe you want to have conversations with your child. It could be really good for bullying or stuff like that. It does talk about heaven. So, parents got to consider that, whether or not they want to, touch on those religious undertone type of discussions with your kid. But I think the appropriate kid could definitely have it read to them.
Now, Jonathon Livingston's Seagull was a hit in the 1970s. It was made into a movie, and Neil Diamond did a Grammy award-winning album about it. Does it hold up in this day and age?
I'm not really sure. It's hard for me to make that stance because I get it's all about the message. I get why Kobe Bryant liked it so much because it's all about striving for perfection and stuff like that. So it really depends on the audience. Someone could pick it up and they could be really motivated by it. And then someone could pick it up and they could find that it's more religious undertone and preachy and not like it. So it's really depending on the audience, to be honest with you, on whether or not this is something readers will like.
How did you get your hands on this book?
I just ordered it online. Like I said, I found out Kobe Bryant, it was his favorite book, and there's multiple different versions of it online. In fact, in 2014, the author, he went on to publish a fourth area of the book and have an extended version. I never read that, but apparently in 2014, that's what he did. He added to the book. So there's many variations out there, different illustrations and stuff. So I just ordered the basic hard copy online.
And are you going to be passing it on to someone else?
Yeah, if parents want it, sure, I will tell them to kind of read it first, because I don't want them to be halfway through a story and then their kid asks, hey, what's heaven? And then they're in this big parental discussion they weren't planning on at bedtime. So I'll tell them to read it first to see if it's something they want to touch on. But it's totally good if let's say you have a kid that's bullied or, deemed as different in some way and maybe something like that. It'd be great for parents to read to start that discussion with their kid.
Well, it sounds like a great book. As I said, heard of it, never read it, so perhaps I'll have to get a copy or borrow it from you someday.
Yeah, not a problem, Janice. Anytime.
Thanks so much, Wayne.
Thank you much, Janice.
Wayne Button read a well-known book this week, Jonathon Livingston's Seagull, which was written by Richard Bach and illustrated by Russell Munson. And Kobe Bryant said it was his favorite book.